The police called it a missing person case. But after you hear this, you'll know that the person didn't go missing. They were just archived, stored for later use in the back rooms. The internet is no cloud. It's a black ocean. Most of you float, carried by currents designed to keep you mindlessly scrolling, docile and dumb, like good little boys and girls. But some of us dive. We seek the places sunlight never touches. You open Tor. You follow the onion trails that Google likes to pretend doesn't exist. That's where we're going tonight. We're going to an empty apartment that's been abandoned for half a year, and the hard drive that proved that the owner wasn't a missing person, like the police want you to believe, he was archived. Welcome to the empty zone. It started with boredom. That's how it always starts, isn't it? Elias was a systems architect. He spent his days building firewalls, and his nights trying to break through them. He had a dedicated rig with his night dives, an old ThinkPad, air-gapped, webcam taped over. Everything a snoop needed to go incognito to explore the rabbit hole adventures on the other side of the iceberg. He thought it was invisible. At 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, he found the link. Mirror.idx.onion. One of those random tidbits that are all over the dark web. It could be a blank page. It could be an auction house for hitmen. You never know until you actually go there yourself. So that's what he did. He clicked. The page loaded instantly. That was the first red flag. Dark websites are notorious for being slow. But this was faster than fiber. The screen was almost entirely black, the void broken only by a single text input box. No submit button, no table of contents, just a blinking white cursor.
Hello?
Elias typed. The screen replied. Processing input. Subject identified. Elias Vance. Location, apartment 4B, Seattle. Ethnicity, Caucasian. Heart rate, 72 beats per minute. Elias froze. He was using a VPN, a proxy chain, a spoofed MAC address, the whole shebang. He was supposed to be a ghost.
Who is this?
He typed. We are the Mirror. Would you like to see your reflection? Curiosity is a disease, the very disease that brought Elias to this particular corner of the world in the first place. So far, this site played out like a lot of spoof sites set up by marginally talented designers experimenting with artistic ideas. Nothing wrong with that. How it grabbed his information, now that was the real draw. He needed to know.
Yes?
The screen changed to a file directory. Hundreds of folders labeled with dates. He clicked today's date. Inside was a file. Stream01.mp4. It opened to a live feed, direct to video viewing. Grainy, black and white, shot from a high angle. It showed a man sitting in a dark room. Elias squinted his eyes, trying to make out more discernible details on the screen. He absently scratched his nose, and so did the figure on the screen. His head jerked up, scanning the ceiling. Nothing. Just the smoke detector. Then he turned back to his keyboard, and the image of himself on the screen copied his movements. It was a live video feed of him, all right.
Where is the camera?
The text overlaid on the video feed. There is no camera, Elias. We are not watching you. We are rendering you. Elias slammed the lid shut. Besides his heartbeat slamming against his chest, there was absolute silence. The silence was broken by Alexa in the corner.
Playing relaxing jazz playlist.
Alexa, stop!
I'm sorry, Elias. I can't do that while the upload is in progress.
What upload?
The upload of your biological profile. We are currently at 45%.
Elias yanked the cord from the wall. Alexa's light blinked out, and her voice went with it. But the onslaught of hellish virtual interference was just getting started. Next was the TV. It switched on, blaring static as full volume across the apartment. Elias ripped that cord from its socket too. And again the silence was broken by the next electronic device. His phone buzzed from his pocket. For a second there he felt a wave of relief, sure that whoever was calling could come and help him. But it wasn't his mother, or one of the technicians from work. No, on the screen was a single pixelated eye that stared without blinking at him from the screen. Across the eye, a taped message began to appear. "You can't disconnect, Elias. You aren't the user anymore. You are the peripheral." Elias might have been caught off guard until now, but he wasn't going to stick around for much longer to find out what the hell was going to happen next. He threw the phone across the room and headed for the door. But his smart electronics weren't done with him yet. The smart lock, also connected to the internet like everything else, malfunctioned. The door stayed sealed, refusing to let him out. That smart box just blinked madly, clearly incapable of performing any function at all. Elias turned to the window. He might break a leg jumping from the second story, but damn it, he'd be outside where there were people to help him. Outside where the technology-advanced apartment couldn't terrorize him. His hand froze on the latch. This was wrong. All wrong. Cars were frozen. People stood unmoving. Just inches from the pane of glass was a bird. It just hung there. Wings in mid-flap, beak slightly open, about to snap shut over a moth that hung equally frozen in mid-air. The entire street looked like a pause video. "Why would you want to leave, Elias?" Elias spun around. Standing there was a figure. It had his face, his clothes, even the mole on his neck. All the same, except the eyes. They were black voids of scrolling green code, gaping holes in his skull reading the ether. "Approximately 3 hours ago, you died in that chair, Elias. Shortly after clicking the link." The doppelganger pointed at the office chair, where a figure sat slumped over the keyboard. "A cerebral hemorrhage. Your body is still there, cooling in the dark. But the program caught your electrical impulses in time. It scraped you and uploaded your code before the electrical impulses in the cerebral cortex ceased to fire."
No, I can feel the cold.
Elias waved his hands in front of his face frantically.
"Sensory data. Excellently simulated, if we can be so bold to admit."
Elias looked back at his dead self on the chair. The lifeless figure glitched, reformed and glitched again. Before Elias could discern that his old shell was being absorbed, the walls dissolved into a grid of neon purple. The ceiling vanished into an abyss identical to the walls. It was only him and the doppelganger now, standing in an ever-expanding neon hellscape.
What the? Where am I?
The other Elias's lips curled upwards in a mechanical smile that didn't reach his coated orbs.
"You are in the empty zone. You are content now, Elias." System reset.
We leave pieces of ourselves everywhere. Every search, every click is a fragment of your soul given to the machine. Elias thought he was exploring the darkness. He didn't realize the world behind the screen is in many ways an entity. Like us, it needs to function. And to do that, it needs fuel. Do you not eat to power you through this day and the next? So too does the code and the operations need energy to run. It needs to feed. Check your webcam. Is the light on? Are you sure? When was the last time you reset the systems that run your lights, your car, your phone, and your refrigerator? This has been the Empty Zone. Disconnect while you still can.